Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a very happy birthday. You will have heard her name mentioned yesterday's because Panthera let Simon know about Casey Catrot's birthday, and happy birthday to Casey for yesterday. But today it is Panthera's birthday herself, so we wish her a really many happy returns of today. And I'm going to be having a go at a Panthera puzzle. It is Japanese sums, but it is with a twist. And that twist is that there is something bogus in it. It's kind of a fake puzzle. So we will be there. There's an imposter has messed with it. Anyway, we will look at the rules in a moment, but it does lead me on very nicely to foreshadow that next month's Patreon reward will be puzzles with bogus clues in, and that will be the general theme of it. So we're looking forward to bringing you that, but there is still time. If you haven't begun it, you will want to get on with it quickly, because Blobs is rather fantastic. The Hobbit Sudoku Hunt has only 3 days to run as 4 days as a live competition, but I mean it'll still be there after that. 19 puzzles though, so it takes a little bit of getting through. Now the great thing is that Panthera is, we believe, working with a collaborator on a future Sudoku hunt for us for Patreon, so that's greatly to be desired, and we look forward to that as well. If you are interested in sending us something for the Sudoku hunts on Patreon, do work on it. We are very interested to receive submissions. We may have some exciting names coming up in that slot in the future, so let's see. Now, this has reminded me, actually, I've never shown you the Christmas cards I picked up a while ago from our PO box, so thank you very much to Janie for this one. And to Freddie, who sent us what is actually a crossword puzzle that looks like a Christmas tree with the clues on the back. They're too small for me to show you or read, but it was good fun, Freddie. Enjoyed that, and thank you very much. We don't actually, just in case people are wondering, we don't urge you to send us your first-time crossword compositions on the for use on the channel. We probably don't use those, I'm afraid, ever. The puzzles we feature have been set by crossword compilers who have been working at the cryptic crossword setting genre for many, many years. I mean, you know, we like attempting the things you send in sometimes, but they're unlikely to feature, just so you know. Please don't feel hard done by. I think it's an interesting point. I think it is actually more feasible for a first-timer to set a Sudoku puzzle, a variant Sudoku puzzle of some sort that turns out to be really fun to solve, than it is for them to by chance discover that they are a fantastic creator of cryptic crossword clues, which frankly I think takes years to master, and I hope to do it one day. Anyway, that's just a general bit of chat. Now, on Patreon, you can see my very hard crossword effort from the Times, a James Bryden puzzle, and he has been setting for years, and the clues are fantastic. And of course, there's other stuff there on Patreon as well. Do check it out. We've got all of our apps. They don't feature Japanese sums, but they do feature Fog of War, our latest one, very popular. We've got our merchandise and SVEN'S Sudoku pad on the links under the video, but the first link is to this puzzle. And it's called Box 8 is Sus. Yes, that's reminding me, I don't know, is sus a word especially in use in the video game Among Us, which, did we actually play it, or did I? No, I think I did a puzzle that related to it, so I had to watch a couple of episodes of someone playing the game on YouTube to understand it, and the only reason I remember that game is called Among Us is because the sort of catchword amogus derived from that rhymes with bogus. Anyway, Box 8 is sus, and maybe sus is not related to that game and I've just made a mistake, but that's the name of the puzzle. Now, the rules are that normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every box of the 9x9 grid. Now, Japanese sums rules say that the clues outside the grid indicate the sums of runs of contiguous cells that must be shaded. So in this column, it would be a run of 14 somewhere, followed by a run of 15, followed by a run of 4 that would be shaded. The shaded runs must be separated by at least one non-shaded cell. And of course, they could begin anywhere, so you could begin with non-shaded cells. However, here comes the punchline. The imposter has messed up this Japanese Sums Sudoku. He's made it a Japanese Sus Sudoku, I suppose. The imposter has changed some column or row clues to represent the runs of unshaded cells instead of the shaded ones. So the one I was giving you could have been 14 unshaded, 14 as a total of unshaded cells, followed by a run of 15 as a total of unshaded cells, and then a 4. And he even erased one of the clues. That's row 5. That clue has gone. All I remember is that there are less shaded cells than unshaded. Oh, wow. I hope I'm not going to have to figure that one out to finish the puzzle. I mean, it wouldn't be there if I didn't have to work it out for some reason. Can you still solve this puzzle? Note, a row or column clue will only give you a clue about one type of cell, shaded or unshaded. There are no mixed clues within a column or row. So the imposter wasn't utterly evil. He was just a bit cruel. Well, we'll see how utterly evil he was when we try the puzzle. Do give it a try on the first link under the video. And if you were thinking, isn't imposter spelled O-R at the end? It is either. You can use either. People are often very surprised to find that variant spellings of a word are allowed. The people who love to write, technically, imposter should be spelt O-R. They're very surprised by this sort of thing. But anyway, those are the rules. Give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking and see if we can find out where the bogus amogus stuff is. It's not so much that it's a liar puzzle, really. It's just that you can't tell which of the clues are for shaded and which are for unshaded. What we need is the rows and columns that add up, where the clues add up to nearly 45, especially when you allow for digits, for a 1 at least, in between the runs. Those are going to be our friends. So this one adds up to, the cells add up to 41. That's a big number, especially when you add the 2 gaps, which must be at least a 1 and a 2, and that adds us up to 44. This one is 42 on its own. This one is 41 on its own. So these are very likely, well, no, I don't know. I was going to say these are likely to be the same colour for the bulk of them. But look, there's this 731.4 and this 432.5. Right, the interesting thing about these 2 rows to me is that they seem to break up towards the end of the row. That 731.4 implies that you're going to end a run of 31, maybe there, and then have a gap and then the 4. Or, well, there's not much else. Okay, why I find that odd is because it feels to me like column 7 is largely a different colour from column 8. Of course, 41 and 42 have... Right, I'm going to use the concept of outies. These are digits in the row or column that are outside the summing. So in this 38, 41 and 42, I'm using the secret as well, which I hope you know by now, that the sum of every row, column and box in a Sudoku is always the same. It's always 45. That is the sum of the digits 1 to 9. That's why. Right, so the outies in this column add up to 3. Now that's either one cell of 3 or 2 cells that are 1 and 2. And that means that all of these cells are the same colour. The other way of looking at that is that the run of 42 is at least 7 cells long. You can't do 42 in less than 7 cells. And if we're going to have a run of 7 cells in the column, it's got to include those 5. Now, I think that applies to the 41 as well. The 41 itself, again, I look at it in the outies. They can either be a single 4 or a 1 and a 3, adding up to 4. So the central 5, they're all going to be in the 41. Now, blue's a silly colour to choose. Let's go yellow for contrast. But I thought these were going to be the same colour, a big block of purple. But that seemed, well, maybe we're not going to touch this row, but we're certainly touching this row. Oh, 432.5, right, this is a bit simpler than I was realising. The point, yes, the idea of calculating what is the minimum size of a block, that is useful, and it's very useful in this row. And it gives us a start. Right, 32 requires at least 5 cells. 9, 8, 7, 6 only add up to 30. So 32 requires at least 5 cells. So we've got 1 cell, gap of at least 1 cell, 5 cells, gap of at least 1 cell, 1 cell. Well, that adds up to 9 at a minimum. So this must go 1, 1, 5, 1, 1. And that means that these two are contrasting colours. So shall I stick with yellow and purple? Let's go green and purple for my 2 colours in this grid. I have no idea which is going to be shaded or unshaded. Actually, oh, I see that. Sorry, I've just realised that is what the disambiguating line was about in the rules. All I remember is there are less shaded cells than unshaded. We're going to solve the whole puzzle in green and purple and then work out which one is blue shaded and which one is unshaded at the end by counting the cells. Not certain that's its only role, but it might. I think it is. Anyway, this one goes 1, 1, 5, 1, 1. So these are purple, these are green. We actually know the numbers. That's a 4, that's a 5. This lot adds up to 32. And this was giving, I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it was shaded or unshaded. It was giving greens in this row. This column is giving greens, but this column is giving purples. Now, what's happening here? Can we do anything with this row? 7, 31, 4. They add up to 42. Oh, again, 31 is done in 5 cells. So, now this time I don't know whether green and purple are the same in columns 7 and 8 or different. But I do know this goes 1, 1, 5, 1, 1 again. Now, I've got it. Yes, this is really clever by Panthera. I hope this is on the intended solution path because it's really neat. If purple was yellow and green was red, then we would have a problem. The problem we would have is not in any individual column 7 or 8. It's considering both of them. Because both of these would be outies for the green run. And they would have to be 1 and 3. And both of these would be outies for the blue run. And they would have to be, the purple run. And they would have to be 1 and 2. And that would require 2 1s in the same box. So red must be the same as purple instead. And yellow must be the same as green. And now we've got a framework going on. Now, this column says 38. I feel that's got to be green. Right, how many? Let's do, just step back, Mark. Do this logically in the way that you've said is the best way to do it, which is working out the minimum length of a run of 38. It's got to be at least 6 cells. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 only add up to 35. It's got to be at least 6 cells. So it must take in 1 at least of these greens. Now in theory it could be 6 cells there, but this would need another clue in the row. So it is at least those 6 cells, but bear in mind 38 could be as many as 8 cells. So I can't hem it in with purple. Oh, column one is the place I should have begun, I suppose. 16 and 28 means there is a gap of exactly 1. Oh, actually, we can work out the interstices. Anyway, what this means in column 1 is, well, I don't know the lengths. It could be 4 and 4 with a 1 in between. Or it could be 3 and 5 with a 1. It could actually be 2 and 6 with a 1 in between. But I do know that the outsides are all green. We've got 16 sums starting here and a 28 sum starting from the bottom here. And that clue is giving the green clue. That column is giving the green lengths. Now, I told you that the columns that add up to nearly 45 are our friend, and column 1 is the best friend we have here in a way. Well, the bottom section has to be at least 4. Now, I can write in the digits here, can't I? 7 and 4, and the interstices, like the gap digits, because this column, the clue, this row, the clues add up to 42. The missings, therefore, add up to 3. They're a 2 and 1 pair. In this column, 41, the missing digits are 1 and 3. Now, is that going to inform... Yes, in this 42 column, we now know that the outies can't be a 1 and a 2, because that would break this cell. Oh, therefore, the outie, it's singular, is a 3, and therefore that must be a 1. And that gives us some disambiguation of these interstitial digits. Now, there is a 3 outie. It's either there or there. This is also purple. In this column, the outies add up to 4. Well, it cannot be a single outie here because we'd have 2 4s in the box. Therefore, this could be an outie still. It could be purple, but it's this one. This can't be green anymore because that's what would require this to be a single outie. So that is purple. And that is an outie, and it's not a 1. So that is 3 or 4. If it's a 3, there's a purple 1 here. If it's a 4, everything else in the column is green. Either way, this one is green. Now, can we do anything with this row? No, I doubt it. The numbers aren't very big. This row? This row, we're looking at a 20, which is at least 3 cells, and a 13, which is at least 2. Now, if they were green, that can't be here, because the only outie we've got coming in this column is a 3, and that could not contribute to a green 13 sum here. So, can this be green at all? Yes, if the clue is referring to purples, you could have 13 there and 20 there. It's quite difficult. That would have to be 4, 9 and 8, 7, 5. But it is possible for this clue to be referring to purples. If it's not, though, we're saying this can't be a green 13. So the green 13 would be in those cells, and the green 20 would be in those. Now, there might be something in common with my 2 possibilities. Let me just... No, I've got that wrong. If it was 20 and 13 in green, it would look like this. I'm just sketching it so I can remember. And then compare with 20, 13 in purple, in which case they'd all be purple. Didn't I say that? And this would be 4 and 9. No, I've got it wrong, because purple can extend. I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing. Purple can, if this is counting the purples, what I was working on was if this is the green outie, then it's difficult to make purples. I wasn't allowing for this not to be an outie and this clue in row 9 to be counting the purples. Sorry, I'm just explaining what I've done wrong. Right, let's have a look at column 2. In column 2, you would think that this clue must be doing the purples. And that would be included in the 5, which would have to be a 1-4 pair. And that would be included in the 30. But could this be doing greens? Well, it could, with a 5 there and a 9, 8, 7, 6 in green here. And then all of these being purple. So we have to be a bit careful. This 19 clue, obviously there's only one run of either green or purple in this row. And it's tempting to think that means there's a run of green of at least 4 cells, 3 cells say, followed by a run of purple that ends in at least 3 cells. That is tempting, but it's not necessarily right, because the way this clue could be set up is a purple group in the middle that adds up to 19 and green unclued, unshaded bits around it. Oh, hang on. Lovely, lovely. Right, I do know that this is not a green 5 and a green 30. How do I know that? Because where would 4 go in the column? If you put a 5 there and 9, 8, 7, 6 here, that would be a 4, 2 pair. Oh, that's beautiful. Right. So this is cluing purple, this column, and that 1 is part of a 5 clue with a 4 either side of it. Because that 3's gone, well, it's the only way you can do. Put a 1 in a 5 clue. Now, this 3 is then part of a 30 sum that starts at the most northerly possible point here and is at least, no, I was going to say at least 4 cells, but now it's got a 3 in it. It's at least 5 cells, so they must include those 4. Good. Now, what does that mean for, oh, this row, 8 and 22. Well, we can't put the 22 in purple at the end. So this must be the green 22. We can conclude that. Yeah, we can. The green 22 is 3, 4, maybe even 5 cells. The green 8 is clearly 1 cell, and that is purple. Now in the final column, well, we can't be counting purples here because you just can't get enough. A 19 has to be at least 3 cells. So we're definitely counting greens, and that green 19 is down here with a 6, 8 pair to make it up. Now, what has that done in the bottom row? I don't know. I don't really understand. Okay, I understand what it's done in this row because now green can't be clued because that is 6 or 8. So purple is clued, and that's a 4. That's now a 3 by Sudoku. And that needs another outie in the column, and there it is. It's a 1 at the top. This column needs a 3 as an outie, and it's up at the top because of this 3. And the 13 sum here, is it now definitely purple? Yes, it is, because we're not counting that green. So we need another cell because we can't get there with just this one. Then we need 3 cells making 20. And green in between. This green is this green 20? Yes, you can't get 20 in purple, so it must be green, at least 3 cells. That's purple. Ah, that gives me the green in the final column, and it colours the whole of the final column. Ah, it's interesting. Now, I was looking at that cell because of this column, which has 14, 15, 4. Surely that's green. Yes, you couldn't fit enough purples in to get the 14. So the 14, 15, 4 is counting green. That must be the 4. That must be a gap. This is within the 15, which is 2 or 3 cells. That's within the 14, which is 2, 3, or 4 cells I'm going to allow. I'm going to be able to do some Sudoku soon. That's great. Now this is part of a 6 in the row that can't be 4, 5. One has to be careful. It's not necessarily 6 or 5, 1. It could even be 1, 2, 3. Well, it can't because this is then in the 10 clue. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. This is a 38 column. Outies add up to 7. Oh, what about this row? Right, it's not counting greens, so it is counting purples. 9 and 8 there would only get us to 18, so at least 3 are purple. The outies, you've got 19 in the purple, 12 on the right. That's 31, so the left-hand outies add up to 14, so that's green. It's not the 4 that goes into the 5 clue. That's here, and that's green. And these two, that don't count towards the 35 add up to 10, and they don't involve 1, 3 or 4. They're a 2, 8 pair. Now, this is 19. What did we say these greens were? 14, I think. 19, 31, 14. So that could still be a 6 and an 8. This can't be a 9 by Sudoku, so that's green in column 1 now. There's a 1, that's the outie in one of those two cells. I'm tempted to imagine it's here as a purple 1, but I'm not sure. This is a 22. Oh, this 38 has now got 2 outies already. Can they be 1, 2, 4, i.e. 3 outies? Only if that's a 4 and that's a 2, 1 pair. But that is possible. In this column, we're looking at 3, 6, 13. I don't know, that could still be green, green, double green. We wouldn't even have to use that cell, and that would be spare. Okay, in this column, oh look, this is a naked single. I wasn't expecting to get one of these at this point. In the column we've got 9, 4, 5, 6, 8. In the box we've got 1, 2, 3. So that's a 7. This is a 1, 2, 3 triple. We've got 2, 7 and 9 to place in box 9. Now what about this 13 sum? If that is 7 or 9, it can't be 7 because that would need to be another 3. So that's a 9, that's a 1. This adds up to 20 and it doesn't have a 9 in. It is 8, 7, 5. That's a 6 in the corner, that's a 2 in this corner. Now, 2, 4, 3. Even I spend a bit of time checking whether we can still get a 3 in the corner in a puzzle. Don't know why. Because of the song and Simon's predilection for 3 in the corner. These are from 5, 6, 8. Now that is going to add up to 31, whatever it is. Now this row, right, this can't be doing purples because that's a 4. So it's counting greens. That's, oh, I knew that anyway because from this 20. So I should have filled in that 3 ages ago. Right, we've got a 16 sum. So this is either that's a 5 and that's a 1, or this is a 6. So we've got 5 or 6 here. How about this 19? I don't think we can now work this with a 2 here. We won't get to the right total. So that's an 8. And surrounded by a 5, 6 pair in green. There we go. These ones are 2, 4, 7. Doesn't feel like I've got that right. No, I haven't. I'm so sorry. I was counting this for the 19, but it's the purple that is the 19. Right, we're looking at 14 this way. So actually, 8 is impossible. No, 8 is possible if that's a 6 and then that's purple. That's quite likely. If that was a 2, that can't be 6. That would be 5 and this would be, yeah, it can't be 2. So I got the right digit for entirely the wrong reasons. If that was a 2, this would be either a 6 requiring another 6 here to make the 14 sum, or a 5 to make a 7 here. And we're making this a 14 sum because 14 plus 12 plus 19 equals 45. So that's not a 2, that's an 8. But I'm only going to 14. I can't do it by 5, 1. So that's a 6. And this is purple. And that's better. 2, 5, 9 in these cells. Top one's not 9. That's not 2. Let's look at this column now. We're not counting purples because we can't begin with a 9. Now, we're counting greens, and this cannot be a 5 because although you could make up a 9 sum with a 5 and either a 4 or a 3, 1, that's not possible according to that cell. So this is a 9 and that's purple, and this one isn't purple. Now we've got 20 in green here. I feel like it's going to use the 9. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've got the information to do that. Okay, let's continue down this column. We were going to come up with a 4 next, which could be a green 4 or a green 1, 3. and then a 12 to finish off. I don't know. 14, 15, 4 in column 5. Either of those could be 2 or 3 cells. Right, we're counting a 1 first in this row. Now, I know that that's purple because otherwise this green would be in the this green, if we were counting greens, that cell would be in the first run of green. So I know that we're counting green, we're counting purple, but I don't know that that has to be purple. If that was green and not a 1, we could have a purple 1 here, but then we couldn't get 7 and 8. We can't put another 1 in the box because 1's in one of those cells. So this can't be the purple 1 followed by a 7 and an 8. So that is the purple 1, in fact. Oh, well, I knew that because that adds up to 16. Oh! Well, I should have known it, and I didn't know it. There we go. So 1 there, then 7 somewhere here. These two have to add up to 8. And it's not very helpful. I only get to remove 1 tiny corner center mark digit there. Okay, here 3. Okay, 3 means we're not adding purple because that can't be a 3 by Sudoku. This can't be 1 or 2, so that's green and that's purple. We're adding green in this, or we're cluing green in this column. 3 there, then 6 either here, here, or both of these, then 13 including this cell. I don't think that makes it easy to do, actually. 7. This is getting quite difficult now. 22 doesn't involve an 8 in it. So if it's 3 cells, it has to be 9, 6, 7. That's not what we need. I'm sure there are probably very easy things to do that I just can't see. Right, 8 has made that a 2. That's not a 2 now, so that's not a 6. Now, oh, there's a 1 there as well, so that's actually a 3. So it was helpful, I just didn't realise. They don't have a 5 in. Now, the purple 7, well, it can't be 1, 2, 4 as a triple. It can't be 2, 5, 1, 6, or 3, 4. So it is a single 7 somewhere, the purple 7 in this row. And everything else is green. 1 in column 3 seems to have to be here by Sudoku. That's not an 8. 8, 1, 4, 2, 3. Now, 6. The 6 can't be counting green, so we're doing the purples. Oh, I knew that already. 4. Is this part of the 6, or is it green and that's the whole 6? I don't know. Right, how about this column? Oh, these are from 5, 6, 8. We've got a 14 sum at the top in green. Oh, this column now. Are the outies a purple 2 and a purple 4, or just a 6? This can't be a 6, so that is a 4. How do I know they'd be that way round? Because of this 4. Yes, that's a purple 2. And this is in the 10 sum. And it can't be just 2, 8. So it's 3 cells that are 2, 3, 5. That's green. This is a solo purple 6 in the row. I can fill in a lot of digits, I imagine now. That's a 9, that's a 7, that's a 2. This one's not a 5. One of these is a 5. Maybe I can over-imagine. No, I can place 5 here because of that 2, 5 pair. That's okay. Maybe I was overestimating what I could do. 7, 9 pair makes that a 5. This is 3, 4, 6. Doesn't include the 7 then. So 7's definitely purple in one of those 2 cells. This is therefore green. And it can't be a 3 contributing to a 4 because that's not a 1. So it is a 4, that's purple. Then we have a 12 in green that must involve this cell. And it can't be a 6. So that's a 3, that's an 8, that's green. And column 3 is done. Keep going with the Sudoku. Now, in this row, we've only got one green area. That adds up to 22. Right, 22 plus 8 is 30. The other 3 cells add up to 15. If that was 9, we'd break the bank immediately. So that's a 7, that's a 6, and that's a 2. And now I think we are motoring. 5, 6, right, we've got 822 is effectively done there, and that row's all these rows are done. This row is not done. These 3 add up to 20, just 3 of them. That must involve a 9 now that 8 and 7 are gone. In fact, it must be 9, 5, 6. 5, 6, 9, 8, 7, 3, 4. That's a 2, that's a 1. 5 there, and a 2, 7 pair here. There's an X-wing on 7s, and I'm going to use that to rule all other 7s out of columns 4 and 5. Put a 7 in there. Got a 6, 9 pair here. This group is 4, 8, 9. I mean, I know I should be using the clues, but I find it easier at some points to just do a bit of Sudoku, if I'm honest. That is 5 or 9 by Sudoku. That is 3 or 8. These are very restricted cells. 6, 8 or 9. Okay, so we're going to have 7 in purple in that row. Now this row's done, so it's the columns. It's columns 4 and 5. We've got 14 in green followed by 15. Here, we've got 3 in green, and we've got to have a green 6 and then a green 13. So that is a green, literally a 6. That's a purple border. This lot adds up to 13, and I now know that's a 9. We can put a 4 in there. This must do quite a lot of Sudoku, I feel. Not that 2. Oh yes, it places that 7, so it does do the 2, 7 pair. That 7 is purple in the row. We've still got this column to sort out, which has 14 there, and that's not allowed to have a 6 in anymore, so it's a 5, 9 pair. Then it has 15 in green, and this can't be a single 9, so we've coloured the whole grid. This has to add up to 9. It's a 1, 8 pair. Oh yes, that's a 3 by Sudoku. Right. This is a 2 to complete the column. Now that 8, 1 pair are known. 3 and 4 get filled in there. 9 and 8, that's a 9. This is 5. That's 6. That's 8. 6 and 5. Now, before I complete the puzzle and get a tick, I have to determine which is shaded and which is not. And the rule said that there are less, or fewer, one might say, shaded cells than unshaded. So if we've got more purple or green, I feel that we've got fewer purple. 5, 9, 10, 11, 14, 18, 20, 23, 25, 28, 33, 37 of the 81 cells are purple. Therefore, that is the shaded colour and should really turn blue. The unshaded colour should really have no colour. And now I should, with Panthera, I should be able to tell. Let's recolour the blue a slightly darker blue. What picture have I drawn here? Box 8 is sus. Oh, this is an amogus. Looking to the left, of course. I don't know if they're really called amogi or amoguses. They're the characters from Among Us. I'm sure they're not, but that's what I call them. And there we go. The solution is correct. That's great fun. Well done, Panthera. I don't know why box 8 is so sus. I never really, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track of which clues were clearing the shaded ones and which ones weren't. It seemed a big old mix to me. I don't know why box 8 is sus, but I do know that we wish Panthera a very happy birthday, and long may she continue to set gems like this. It is, I mean, it is based on Among Us. That has now been proven. That's brilliant. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a go at the puzzle. That was clever. That was a real twist on Japanese sums, and I think you will find the same when we get to February and you see the bogus puzzle hunt. Excellent. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.